Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on two more simple pair of earrings using my Celtic theme. We're going to definitely use some more of my Irish marble. One pair is going to have cork red and the other is going to have Connemara green. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do, at least with the first one. Then we'll show you what we'll do with the second one before we get it started. Okay, this is a really simple, but really going to be a really pretty pair of earrings. Anyway, I feel it is. These two 3-inch wires, I'm going to cut the heads off, and so now they're wire instead of head pins. And this is the top. We're going to put these little Celtic crosses on the bottom. Aren't those pretty? And then a cork red rice bead and this tiny little Celtic knot bead here. Then we're going to hook all those things onto this really pretty little gold ring. The next thing we're going to do is gotta cut this chain in half, but we're going to hook the chain to the ring, and then the ring will hold on to our ear wire. So I guess the first thing we should do is cut this chain in half. Like I say, it is too long for just one earring, and it's plenty long, I think, for two. So we'll grab hold of the end links. Easier said than done because these are little links. There we go. Then we'll bring her down, see where the middle is. And it looks like we might end up having to cut 2 links. If that's the case, well, that's the way it goes some days. So we'll just get 1 link cut first. Come on, baby, hold down there so I can cut you. Don't want to be cut, do you? And I was right, one is longer than the other now, so we do need to cut that second link off. Come on, baby, cut. There we go. So now we have the chains for each. So the chain will go up at the top. So there we go. So what we're going to do is take one of these wires, hook this cross on, put these on, hook it right onto the gold wire. So we will want to make a loop here on this end. So we've got the 90-degree bend, then we bring our pliers in and bring this over and straighten her up. Now I didn't leave a gap. I should have, because we need to hold on to the little cross. So we'll open that up some. And feed our little cross on. Now we need to wrap a couple of wraps here. Now this little cross is two-sided, so it doesn't matter which side is front and which is back. So I just brought all 3 loops around. Now you see I've let it tip backwards some, and I actually may not have brought it all the way to the front in the first place. So there we go. There's our little cross on. Then we're going to put on our rice bead and our little there's our start. Now we're going to wrap it around this little ring. So we're going to bring it, the wire forward for our wrap. Get our pliers back out. Over and around, down. Bring her over, but leave that little gap. And now we want to tip this so it's straight up and down, like so. Can you see that? How I've got that tipped so that it brought this back over here. So now we're just going to feed in our little ring. And then we will wrap it. Come on, baby. There we go. Cut off the excess. And tuck it in. Sorry, I was off screen a little bit there. Okay, so now that we have this little guy on here, the next step is simply to hook them with some of the jump rings, which have 4 teeny weeny ones here. This one's already open, so we'll just use it first. Now you could stop right here if you like this size earring. In fact, you could stop right here and leave this little pretty ring off, but that's entirely up to you how you do it, your thing. So this one's already open. I can't remember why it was open, but it probably didn't fit on something. So we'll get our ring and our little piece of chain. Come on, baby, let you take the chain. There we go. Now we need to close this up. See if you're closed all the way. Look pretty good. Not quite, but pretty good. Okay. And then we're going to take it and just hook it onto our ear wire. Now, if it feels too long to you, you can cut off some links. It doesn't have to be this long. You could cut it off to wherever you want. In fact, I may do so. It'll depend on what it looks like when I hook it in. If I decide it looks a little longer than I want, or if it's hanging slightly wrong, then I will cut a couple of links out. When you're working with chain, you want to generally have an uneven number of links for it to hang forward. Come on, baby, take the ear wire. There we go. Now, let's see how she's hanging. Well, it looks like she's hanging pretty good, but it is a little on the long side. I like a long earring, but a lot of people don't. So I may take and cut out like 3 links, 4 links. Well, I want to, since it is hanging straight, which means it's got an uneven number of links here. We want to cut out, if I'm going to cut out any, I'm probably going to cut out just like 2, maybe 3. But we'll decide in just a minute. I think we're just going to take out 2 links just to make it just a little bit shorter. Not a lot shorter, just a little bit. But we're going to take out 2 so that our jump ring goes into the same angle of chain as is in here right now, because it's hanging good and we don't want to switch it so that it hangs the opposite way. So let's open our jump ring up. Take it off our chain. Put it aside, and we're going to cut off 2 links of chain just to make it just a touch shorter. It doesn't need to be a lot shorter, I just want it to be a touch shorter. So there's the chain gone. Now we pick up our jump ring again. Bing. And put back on the chain. And tighten her back up. So there, it's just a tiny bit shorter, but I think it's a little better. So let's take 2 links off this chain before we even get started. And then we don't have to worry about doing it later. So now we're just going to do the same thing on this one as we did that one, obviously, because, well, we're making the same earring. Okay, so we go about halfway down, well, not quite halfway, little under halfway down on our ear wire. Bend her over. I'm not sure what I just dropped, but it was probably one of my tools. Up and over and around, bring her down, bring her over, leaving a gap, and straighten her up. See, like so. See, it's still a little bit back in the back, so we'll pull her over there. That's better. Still looks a little bit back in the back, but that's all right. So, little cross on. I didn't leave a big enough gap, obviously, but I think I can muscle it through here. There we go. Now we will grab hold of where it comes together. And wrap it. Now I think we had 3 wraps on that, and that's where we're at right now. So we're going to cut this loose. And tuck her in. Now, as you can see, my wire is way tipped, so I'm going to put my pliers in the loop, and we're going to bring her over. It still needs a little more. There we go. And my wrap is going up a little high. See how it's right here? I can get my thumbnail in it. So we're going to put our pliers in the loop, then over the top of the wire that's wrapping just against the base wire and push down. See how much difference that made now? See how it's down here quite a bit further? It also came untucked a little bit, so we will tuck it a little bit while we're at it. There we go. Now we want our rice bead. So my camera died there for a second, so you missed me putting the beads on. And then we're wrapping up now the wire after I put it on the ring. So she's all on the ring. Looks like okay. Now we just have to put the chain and the ear wire on, and we're done with this second one. So through the ring, through the chain, and close her up. And then through the ring again. So open up this little guy. Now we'll go through the chain. So through the chain and through the ear wire. Close it up. And this second little earring is finished. Aren't those cute? So that's earring pair number 1 of our 2 pair of earrings we're going to make. So let's get started on the second pair. Okay, now that we've got our first pair done over here, let's start on our second pair. And we have 2 ball head ear wires. Now these are not ones I'm going to cut the head off of because these are our good ones, but it has a bend in it, so I'll take my pliers and see if I can fix that small spot right there. Doesn't really matter if it's bent up higher because I'm only going to use a little bit of it, but we do want it to be straight at the bottom. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to put a little spacer at the bottom. See, I think it looks cool with the bead at the bottom and that spacer. Then we're going to put some of the Connemara marble and one of these little guys that we used in our other pair of earrings. This is going to wrap up and going to hook to this one connector on this side. Now these other 2 I am going to cut the head off of because they're going to become just a piece of wire, so we can hook this up right here and our ear wire on the top. And that's what our earring is going to look like. So I'm going to cut these off right now. Give one to this one and one to this one. So there's these 2 pieces put together. So now we need to bend them and wrap them up so they can hook on the bottom of these connectors. So one up and over and around, bring her down, bring her over with a small gap, and straighten her up to lollipops shape. Needs a little bit more. There. So see, now we'll feed this on. Grab it. Now this doesn't matter whether this is got a front and back, but none of these beads, all the beads that I'm using are able to be rolled, so it doesn't matter which is front and which is back until we get up and put our ear wire on. Okay, so hold that and then wrap. Now you can wrap with your fingers if your wire is light enough. I tend to notice that mine tend to slip if I use my fingers, but so I usually use a second pair of pliers. I can get them nice and close that way. Now I did notice that this bottom loop just wound down lower than I wanted it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take hold again, and I'm going to unwrap this a little bit. Okay, we've got this one on. Now we want to do the wire for the rice bead. So we'll go a little bit, not quite halfway. Bend it over, and around and down, and bring it over. Now we want to straighten it a little bit more. There we go. And we need to leave a little gap. I didn't leave a gap, so we need to open that up some. And now we need to feed it through this connector. Now that it's on here, we'll want to hold it, bring those wires back together, and hold them. Take our other plier and wrap this about, I don't know, 3 times. Let's cut that there. Tuck it in. It's a little bit tipped, so we'll switch it over a little, bring it over a little bit. Looks good. Drop our rice bead on. And now, because this is facing this direction, we want our loop to go this way. So we'll turn this so that we're looking through the hole. Take our pliers and put them in, and bend her over. Now we want to get up and around and over. Bring her down and through here. Leave a little gap. I just did one. And then we want to straighten this up. So we're straight up and down. Pretty good. It's a little bit off still. It could be a little straighter. That's better. Now we'll feed our ear wire in. Remember, it needs to go backwards when we're feeding an ear wire in to something that is going to have a definite front and back, which this one does because this is a more or less one-sided connector. Well, my camera decided to shut off again, so we had this one over. This is our second one. We already had this bent, so I'm just winding it now onto the earring. Cut this bit off. And tuck this little tail in. Now that's a little crooked, so we'll want to straighten it. There we go. The bottom piece is now in place. Now, I did have this second one bent already, so we'll just feed it on. Again, hold it. Come on, you. Sit down there right. Hold her together. And wrap this one up. We did 3 wraps on the other one, so we'll do 3 wraps on this one, and we're going to cut this little baby off and tuck this tail in. So we're looking just a teeny touch crooked, so we'll straighten that up. That's good. And now the rice bead goes on. So now we want to put our ear wire on, so it needs to have a loop going this way. So face this down, get our pliers, do our bend. We're going to do our up and over and around, down, over, and straighten her up. I think that's good. I forgot to leave a little gap, so we'll open it a teeny touch, and then we feed our ear wire in backwards. So now that it's in there, we take hold of our loops, both wires, and we wrap this baby up. Now I don't think I have both wires securely because it wants to take off. So there we go. Retightened it. To get that out of the way. Pull it to the back just a little more, and then we'll cut that off. And tuck the wire in. Okay. And there is our second earring done, though it's a little bit crooked right here. There, I think we're good. So there are both pair of our earrings. Aren't those great? So there they are, the 2 pair of earrings we made today. This is the pretty little crosses on the chain. And then, of course, this is the last one we made with the Connemara marble. Aren't those pretty? I really like these myself. They're a nice length too. These ones aren't a bad length. But there we go. Earring number 1 and earring number 2, made from items from my stash for my Celtic Festival coming up. Hope you enjoyed making those with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.